All right, well, Tim, obviously a win that's a little bit scary like we just talked about, something that you don't know what's going to happen, but the game went back and forth. And just go into, you on the sidelines and what was going through your mind.
Well, we had talked it all week. They come out and said they're a great fourth quarter team at Boston College, and they are. And that really is something we ran with, particularly in our room, our defensive line, that we need to answer the call. They're a very, very good football team. They've scored a lot of points on a lot of good defenses. And we knew all week long it was going to be a fist fight for 4 quarters. And lo and behold, that's what it turned into. So mentally, we tried to prepare as best we could for that. And, we turned that ball over late in the game. We throw that pick, Terrell gets some tackle. And instantly we said, okay, we got all 3 timeouts, guys. And Rob Welsh looked at me and said, Coach, hold them to a field goal. I said, all right, hold them to a field goal and we'll be good. And that's what we did. And it worked out great.
What does it say to you that as soon as that happened, as soon as that interception went down, some people start to leave the dome, but the team just sat on that field and said, and it almost, there was an air about it that I could even feel that they weren't going to let a touchdown go through.
They were a little bit embarrassed about some things that we'd given up in that game. Some trickery stuff, good job by BC. We said we're not going to run the football on us, and they exposed us in some other areas. And our kids were a little prideful about that in the second half, and it really rose up well. I'm proud of them. It really starts at top with Coach Shea. And we stay all these kids to do their little things right on and off the field, practice right. We've had it handed to us a couple times this year where kids could have tucked it, and they haven't done it. So I'm really proud of guys like Jay Bromley, Z Jones, Marquise Spruill. Those seniors have done a great job, so I'm happy for those guys.
A guy like Andre Williams, obviously, best in the nation when it came to running the ball and stopping him and even sending him backwards on a few of those early plays. What did it mean to you really for Syracuse to have the best game against Andre Williams that anybody's had?
Well, I knew I really liked our scheme going into it, that we weren't going to be stubborn and sit in our base defense and say, put your big people out there and pick us apart. And the kid grows up, and they really, really, when you challenge a kid's manhood, they really fought. Micah Robinson early in the football game, I thought he did an excellent job owning that. Their left tackle is a very good football player, and I thought Micah did a great job, asking him to do what we asked him to do, be physical in there. That's a battle in there. There's a lot of big bodies banging in there. And, and I've lost some guys this year, so some kids really rose up. I was proud of them, and I'm really, really proud of that.
When you talk about that, you're a guy that uses rotation so much, so even in a loss, maybe it works a little bit in your favor that you have that rotation and that guys are getting reps and all. So, what can you say about the fact that those reps did come through? And, what could you say about the reps coming through? You can never affect what happens in a hallway. So.
That's right. That's part of the philosophy of knowing. Whether it's during the season when you lose guys and you're able to rotate guys, you get more guys in. They've already got their feet wet. It's not a surprise to them. They don't get those big eyes, and they get out and go. And that's where we practice, too, and demand high expectations for those second, third guys in. And then going into next year, I know I've got guys that have reps, and that'll always be my philosophy. The next guy in, it keeps the morale of the troops up. They know if they work hard in practice and they earn those opportunities, they're going to get them.
A guy like Chase Rettig, not really known for his feet,
Hopefully.
broke out a little bit there in the second half. What's going through your mind? I mean, defensive line, obviously, your job is to stop him at that initial part, and he broke away for a few good ones.
Well, I tell you what, the one that hit down our sideline and he cut across the back of the field there, that was a great play call by them. It's not something they had shown on film. And it was they kind of exposed what we were doing, so congrats to them on that one. They did a good job. I really will say that. So they did a really good job on that play. I said, son of a gun. And it wasn't the kid's fault, but they did a good job. We were committed to stopping the tailback. And if your quarterback can run, that's quite a tool to have. And we said, their quarterback won't run, and he certainly did. So, hats off to them. When he escaped out of the pocket, I thought maybe we could have done a better job getting off blocks and tackling him, but we didn't. We said tailbacks aren't going to beat us, and luckily it worked out for us.
True freshman like Isaiah Johnson, obviously he's been injured for the last few weeks, but what could you say about what you've seen? Because we talked about your future and being prepared for what's to come. Did you see a lot of positive from him?
Oh, a lot of positive. It's his maturity. The season's a grind now. It goes on and on and on, and he hasn't faltered off this injury. Hopefully he bounces back quickly, and we'll get him. Hopefully get this next game. Hopefully, I don't know. You may know more about it than I do, but we'll just pray and see what happens. But Isaiah, a big athletic kid. When I had Chandler Jones, you can't teach that length. He is long and football savvy. So I'm excited about the future. Get him in here in the winter. Toughen him up a little bit, yell at him a little bit, and see what happens.
You're a fiery guy, so what were you saying on the sideline when that touchdown finally happened and there's 6 seconds left on the clock? What were you saying?
I don't know if you saw, we were a little too early celebrating. So I almost pulled something chasing a couple of kids off the field. So I chased Cam Wentz out of the end zone, the opposite end zone. That's where I was. So just try to get him off the field, and then I got special teams, and we talked about how we wanted to kick the ball down the field and corral those guys out.
And the last thing, Richie Desir on special teams, a guy who, no matter where the ball is placed or how close somebody is, he's willing to jump out and go and get it.
Out there, yeah. He tests you a little bit patience, but he saves us so many yards this year. I think you've seen us over time. It's really saved us a lot of yards. Are his return numbers gaudy? No. But their net punt yards aren't very high because Richie catches the football. He knows he's going to get hit, and he doesn't care. And then he busted that long one. And the kids did a good job holding up. We thought we had something on tape, and it really showed up good for us.